Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Luigi here, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as you probably expect at this point in time. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube / Nintendo 3DS as a remake, while we playing through the Hidden Mansion mode. So last time, we've essentially did manage to get started with the forms of Area 2 in a Hidden Mansion mode, and oh no, the entire progression is actually getting out a lot quicker than I was expecting, mainly because of the suction upgrade, when it comes to dealing with certain portrait ghosts from time to time, and in addition to that though, is about the fact that so far we've only caught about 11 boos so far, so as a result about the fact that this is only just the beginning when it comes to boo hunting, or in some cases though, the actual challenge for the sake of the forms of the Hidden Mansion to me though is of course capturing certain boos because of the way how they behave. So either way though, because chances are though, we actually did a pretty decent run so far, despite we keep on getting hit most of the time, not only for certain ghosts, but it's also with the forms of a lot of mices that appeared everywhere during the course of in certain rooms, mainly during the forms of the butler's room or something like that. So, anyways though, today for this video is about the fact that we'll be able to, presumably enough, not only we can able to actually finish up with the rest of Area 2, but also for a short time, we might able to actually tackle through Area 3 for a little bit, although, quite frankly, is that both Area 3 and Area 4 for the Hidden Mansion playthrough, this is where the game starts to get tremendously difficult, mainly because of certain amount of ghost encounters you might able to actually stumble across into, which, trust me, what I'm saying is it's about the fact that always make sure you need able to bring one of those elements with you, to be more specifically the fire element and eventually the ice element and during a later time. So because of that though, yeah, you should probably able to recommend doing this way, just in case it'll make the actual entire process when it comes to get rid of certain ghosts not so much of an issue. So because of that, despite the fact that you can obviously just able to actually use the actual elements wisely, so just in case you don't usually waste them. So anyway, so that pretty much takes care of the forms of the dining room, at least for now. Because, relatively speaking though, I think what I'm gonna do is that I need to head back to Toad here, so just in case I can able to save my game. In addition to that, because, relatively speaking though, I need to go ahead and find not only the next gold mouse, but also with the forms of the Speedy Spirit as well. So because of that, obviously, like I said before, they're all in exactly the same place. So, anyways though, so yeah, a few things I want to talk about is that, well, today's date, of course, here is the 25th of October today, in some cases in 2023 today. Naturally speaking, we've only just got about 6 more days to go until Halloween is about to start. So as a result, things get a little bit more interesting for the sake of the forms of what is going on, especially, thank God, we've now able to actually get ourselves Mario Party 3 that's about to be coming on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, which I'll explain more details about that until in the later on throughout this particular recording. So because of that, yeah, relatively speaking though, let's go ahead and check in here, and of course obtain the next Speedy Spirit, and of course obtain the next blue diamond, so we can easily just try to able to nab it. So now we actually got 10 of them, so yeah, it seems pretty wild, all things considered, especially that gives us a lot of opportunities that if you keep on collecting more of those blue diamonds, you will definitely guaranteed able to actually get a lot of cash for it. So, anyways though, so let's just go ahead and check in here, nothing there. But of course, before we take care of these specific ghosts, I need to quickly save my game again, just in case I don't able to lose my opportunity to able to obtain certain gold mice and all that stuff. So everything else will be pretty much expected or something. So because of that, yeah, let's just go ahead and save our game just in case, like I said before. Anyway, so a few things I want to explain before we discuss upon Mario Party 3 finally decided able to come out on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Unfortunately though, 2 of those films in particular, which there are Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2, and especially noticeable with the 4th SpongeBob movie, which appears to be called the SpongeBob Movie Search for SquarePants, those 2 films in particular has officially been delayed until 2025. You wanna know why? Well, remember how the fact that during the forms within a couple of months ago, that we've stumbled across into the forms of some writer strikes, and also actor strikes as well? Well, apparently the actor strike is affecting during the forms of those two films back to back, when it comes to getting pushed back. So because of that, unfortunately though, we must have to wait until the next 2 years, for the sake of the films we're trying to able to see. The next Mission Impossible movie. So because of that, that's so unfortunate, especially concerning for the fact that I was really looking forward to able to actually see what Part 2 has to offer, but it's kind of unfortunate about the fact that that film is no longer going to be releasing in 2024 just because of the actual actor strike is going on. So, yeah, that seems kind of a massive, you know, bombshell as far as the forms of the actual film schedule releases as far as I'm concerned. So because of that, yeah, I wasn't too pleased about this, but it takes some bit of time, especially concerning for the fact that we can pretty much seemingly to say that for the time being, there are some couple of films I'm still looking forward to for next year, which is of course Kung Fu Panda 4, as well as the forms of Inside Out 2, and of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So, I'm really hoping for me, though, that Sonic 3 does not get delayed, but if it does, then obviously the entire waiting times is going to be twice as painful as the forms of how it does it from the likes of COVID-19 pandemic. So, although, because relatively speaking, I was about the fact that, well, I was expecting about the fact that we can pretty much going to be hyped for certain things, as you probably expect. So, anyways, let's go into the kitchen, and since about the fact that this is a hidden mansion after all, this means we can now able to come across into even more ghosts. And I'm having a hard time when it comes to able to get my button presses and stuff like that, but regardless of such though, problem solved. So that way we can now able to obtain, of course, the water element, so we can able to get rid of the fire on that door, which pretty much leads us to the boneyard, just like the forms of how it does it on the main mode. So, anyways though, so on the subject for this point though, is that, relatively speaking though actually, is that I finally managed able to actually get myself the next playable character, to be more specifically the next, cosmetic playable character during the course of Sonic Dash, where, basically, I somehow managed to able to obtain Linebacker Omega, which, as a result, I think that did happen during after the events of what I somehow managed to able to obtain, Classic Supersonic, due to the forms of celebration of Sonic Superstars release. So, even then though, I'm pretty sure we've actually got the full character set now, with only 2 exceptions, which is, of course, Hello Kitty, alongside with Miss Pac-Man, but that's because back in the day, I was too late for those 2, because obviously with that particular battery life that we usually have, certain problems with it, with the forms of iPhone 5, that, my god, the battery life is pretty terrible for the sake of the phones of back then, especially it was concerning for a second-hand condition. So, that's what I was expecting for it, even though that I could have potentially tried to able to actually do some bit of, well, I don't think I can probably able to explain any of this specific stuff, though. I will have to admit it though right away, because, well, at this point in time, I think I've decided able to, take a break on playing Sonic Dash for a while. So, and I apologize for that particular commentary, because it's a little bit slightly, awkward at this point today. Because I don't know about you, I've almost felt a little bit slightly sick today, but, regardless of such though, I'm still fine as it is, but it's just about the fact that maybe because I ate too much candy recently, just before the Halloween is about to start. So because of that, yeah, I just have no words of able to actually describe any of those things. So, but anywho though, speaking of which though, is about the fact that recently, well, for those of you who lived in Japan, happy 35th anniversary of the game's release of Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES. So because of that, or Famicom for Japan owners, so because of that, while looking back in Super Mario Bros. 3 even to this day, after experiencing Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the most recent 2D Mario game now, I will still say that Super Mario Bros. 3 is without a doubt is one of my favorite Mario games I've ever played, alongside with Super Mario World, along with, now and then, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So because of that, despite most people seem to have a little bit of a controversial opinions for the sake of the films of the new actor for Mario, but alongside with Luigi as well. But for its time though, it's about the fact that it did manage able to mark the exactly same charm, or matches the exactly same tone to it as Charles Martinet. So at the very least, I do respect with the forms of that particular, well, it's a bit tricky to explain. So anyway, with that being said, I believe we did somehow caught every single booze at this point. So relatively speaking, hopefully we'll catch some more by that time whenever we get to Area 3. But I will admit though right away, Area 3 selections of boos is going to get a lot more painful to catch, especially because, like I said before, they acting a little bit more strangely enough. And on top of all that stuff, though, is about the fact that, well, you probably named the rest of it, though, so anyways, though, so, yeah, I guess that's about it. And also, another thing I want to classify for something is that recently, LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog has recently been announced there's going to be another set of, LEGO Sonic figures is going to be on its way, which this time would appear to be buddy forms of not only Knuckles, but also with Shadow and Rouge the Bat. So, because after all, we've already got Sonic, Tails, and Amy, so now we're about to be getting some more character lineup, which are, of course, you know, Knuckles, Shadow, and Rouge. So it would be possible about the fact that at some point in the future, maybe they'll add it in as several, like Blaze the Cat or Silver the Hedgehog, and maybe, if it's possible, with Cream the Rabbit, especially because we have not seen Cream the Rabbit in any other Sonic games since Sonic Generations, which is pretty sad because she is without doubt the cutest character in the Sonic universe. So, which I honestly have no idea what's happening to her after the events of when she was first appeared in, from the sake of the films of Sonic Events 2, from the likes of in 2002. But even then, though, I guess time will tell, especially because they're about to be working on other projects for the likes of LEGO brand, so. But either way, though, I'm pretty excited able to see what the new LEGO lineup we're able to actually expect to bring onto, so, but either way, the next thing I want to classify for mentioning about something is that it looks like we actually got ourselves some new confirmation for the sake of the forms of the release date. When it comes to the forms of Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, it's definitely coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it's been confirmed it's going to be releasing until next February in specifically the 24th of, oh wait, I think it was actually 28th actually. I think I somehow miscalculated, so I do apologize for this point, folks. But yeah, that particular game is about to come out until the very end of February, so because of that, it's on the 28th. So yeah, I was expecting for this much. So because of that, well, not much else explanations for the sake of time, but at least they finally get our new release date for that. So anyways, though, and when it comes to the forms of that new SpongeBob movie, as I've already established earlier, is that apparently the actual the film's title is going to call it the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. And as I said before, that film is now being delayed until 2025, and as a result, it's now going to be releasing until May 23rd in 2025. So, I wonder what that particular 2025 reminds me of. Oh yes, that will also marks the 10th anniversary of Sponge Out of Water movies, 10th anniversary department. So, yeah, it seems kind of interesting. So because of that, I just have no idea why that every single SpongeBob movies nowadays decides they're able to release for about 5-year gaps. Well, the only exception being is, of course, the first one, just because the first one came out in 2004, but it wasn't until likely 11 years later that we were able to actually get the second movie. So because of that, while usually for directed DVDs or just specifically TV specials doesn't count, because obviously about the fact that, well, obviously they debuted on TV broadcast back then, so. But yeah, you get the idea about this specific solution around here, so, and of course, if you're probably wondering, did I somehow manage to backtrack for a bit just before we get into the boneyard? Because, well, obviously I have to water certain plants, as you probably already expect. So because of that, yeah, let's just go and get rid of the, spooky dog. Before we do that, we need to find this dry bones looking, ghost before we do anything. So, yeah, not much explanations for the sake of time, folks. Apart from the fact that until by that time, until tomorrow, I might able to actually just try to actually access to the whole batch of DLC stuff for the likes of Sonic Superstars until tomorrow. Usually for both on the Switch and the PS4 version. Well, I was expecting for an Xbox One version as well, but maybe in another time. I'm hoping it's not going to be a limited time only kind of thing, but I shall say. So either way, let's go ahead and get rid of Spooky here, and let's just make sure we're able to actually get the glorious Big Pearl until whenever we get to Area 3, that we can finally get a chance to get the actual huge opportunity, so I can able to actually get myself my glorious gold frames with those remaining portrait ghosts. So, anyways, yeah, before we get into this particular stuff though, let me just double check off what's beyond in here. Of course, we got some more money, so how's that for that? So let me just go ahead and, oh, and by the way, do not activate the fridge door on the left side, because otherwise you're gonna get smacked, and also you're gonna get hit, so just be careful. So anyways though, so before we take on Bokemare once again, I need to go ahead and save my game, just in case I don't want to get a game over or anything, because if I do get a game over, I have to do this entire process again. At least, assuming, again, if you have your memory card with you, then you should be alright. So, anyway, so now we can able to finish up Area 2 for reals, so now we can able to actually go ahead and, fight Bokemare. But before we do that, we need to take care of those skeleton ghosts first, so that's to be expected at this point, so, either way. Anyways, though, there's also another thing I want to classify for mentioning about this as well, is that, potentially speaking, though, I think, unfortunately, to tell you, for telling the truth, though, is that when it comes to going back onto Mario Kart Tour again, that I don't think it's possible for me to able to actually get the gold Piranha Plant, or just potentially gold PD Piranha variant, especially because of, you know, what else is to be expected? Well, of course, the actual, that particular character is locked out behind the stupid tier system. Although, conveniently enough, I actually got a lot of progression this time around. Well, at least for now. Like, as a result, I'm now on level, 53 right now, because I was expecting to able to actually make my way to, level 55 or, 60, to able to actually unlock the last 2 slots of the actual, the shopping tier menu. But, it's just about the fact I'm still not a big fan of the forms of that particular ranked cup system, I might have to be honest here. Although, at least I got something out of it though, but it's just that I'm just still not a big fan of the ranked cup system, so. But either way though, at least by that time is about the fact that the Halloween tour is almost about to end, before we move on to another rerun, but this time it appears to be the autumn tour. I believe something tells me is about the fact that if we get to December, unfortunately though, we might come across into a rerun of one of my least favorite types of tours, which is of course Team Rally tours, which, as a result, I'm still not a big fan of them. So because of that, yeah, let's go ahead and go towards this gravestone yet again, except now that everything else is going to get flipped over, and on top of that, it's going to make things a bit tricky, but nowhere near as hard as the forms of how it does it for Junsei, so. But even then, I'll explain more about this particular fight whenever we get this fight started, so. So yeah, not much else to say about this, I guess. So it's just about the fact that it plays exactly the same as before. Although, the noticeable challenge this time around, though, for this fight in particular, is that as soon as you're able to actually try to obtain the Shadow Bokemare, yeah, that's what it's usually called, by the way. So basically, though, it's about the fact that every once in a while, Bokemare decides to able to teleport a lot faster than the forms of how it does it on the normal mansion mode. So that's the only differences between the forms of the normal mansion playthrough, and I've lost abundance of coins, so. But that's okay though, because hopefully we're able to actually still keep the, you know what I'm saying, the gems, diamonds, etc. But even then though, hopefully we were able to try to find Bokemare somewhere, so we can able to actually just, oh yeah, because he just decides to able to teleport to another spots to the upper, like, so dang fast. Oh yeah, recently, about the fact that recently, Cap King 74, he's now recently finished up everything for the likes of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green recently. So because of that, yeah, he honestly did manage to able to enjoy his own time for able to actually play that particular game. And as a result, he did manage to able to show everything else. So yeah, everything else will be pretty much accounted for, right? And I was really expecting about the fact that he definitely deserves a break for able to actually playing so many RPG games during that time. Like, I was expecting about the fact that maybe he can probably able to decide to do something else. Like, he has not done a platformer game ever since Sonic 06. Well, mind you, despite the fact that Sonic 06 makes him rage, of course. So maybe he will able to actually try something else, like a new Kirby game or something. Likely also Kirby in a Forgotten Land as a hint, but either way though, sometimes it's so difficult to tell at this point, especially noticeable because, well, we're just going to find out in the future times. So with that being said, Area 2 is done. So in some cases though, I believe something tells me I'm about to get the bronze frame, but that's okay though for Bulkmare, especially because I still managed to get myself my gold frame on the normal mansion playthrough, so that's something I suppose. Even though, unlike the 3DS version, you can change the different picture with the different frame, so I just don't feel like trying to able to show off that particular feature on the 3DS version, so just want to classify that. And with that, we're now on to the halfway point in terms of the Hidden Mansion mode. So, yeah, as I said before, everything else goes by a little bit faster, especially, like I said before, with this upgraded suction feature for the Poltergust 3000, so we should be all good, so... Alright, let's see how much cash we've got so far after completing Area 2, so... Although, if you manage to able to try to go after the optional ghosts, then... Well, I'll explain more details about that in the future, so... Yeah, not doing too bad. So, despite we actually got hit quite a few times, but either way. So, yeah, we're now moving on to Area 3 now, so we can potentially go ahead and, well, trying to able to investigate certain rooms again, so... Yeah. I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well is that there is technically yet another playable character is definitely going to be coming for the likes of Sonic Forces Speed Battle, and as it turns out, it was actually based off from the comic books or something like that, which appears to be by the forms of Surge. The Tanric is about to be coming on Sonic Forces Speed Battle. Now I'm hoping that she'll be also being playable for the sake of Sonic Dash as well. Maybe at some point in the next couple of months. So because of that, well, not now anyway though, just because about the fact at this point I decided to take a break on playing Sonic Dash for some time, especially because I've already done unlocking things for the time being, especially because despite we're missing 2 characters, but that's okay, because obviously that's I'm more happy about the forms of keeping or relatively speaking, kept Pac-Man as a playable character, so even though, because I can still pretty much use him for the likes of the forms of the entire game, including with the recent patch updates for the sake of the forms of Sonic Dash, potentially. Even though it's kind of unfortunate for me, though, I can't seem to able to actually fully upgrade it, Classic Supersonic, just because it still requires character cards in order able to actually upgrade your character, which I'm still not a big fan of that particular feature in my opinion, just because about the fact that it might actually give us a waste of opportunity to able to actually just unlock the character, but you haven't fully upgraded anything for that character. So anyways though, so now we can able to actually access to the courtyard, and no matter what though, it's probably best that we need to take care of these ghosts first, just in case before you're able to actually water those plants, so we can potentially try to able to get a lot more richer for the sake of time. So anyways though, so yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, let's get to the forms of another topic at this point. Like I said before, is that unfortunately Mission Impossible 8 or Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 has officially been delayed until 2025 due to the actors' strike. So as a result, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that I'll have to wait until the next couple of years, like I said before. But luckily though, about the fact no matter what though, we're about to be getting some good stuff to talk about. To be more specifically, like I mentioned earlier, is about the fact fact that we are about to be getting the new LEGO sets for the sake of the Forms of Sonic the Hedgehog LEGO brand. And in addition to that, celebrating the 35th anniversary birthday for Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Famicom version, most likely. Because as a result, yeah, it still is an amazing game while looking back on it, though. So yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So, oh yeah, I should also mention about this as well, is that if you ever play the 3DS version, you can able to actually play the game as a co-op playthrough, which, again, I'll explain more details about that particular feature until by that time until tomorrow. So because of that, relatively speaking though, is about the fact that, speaking of Super Mario Bros. Wonder actually, did you guys know about the fact that until by that time, until early 2024, it looks like we're about to be getting an Elephant Mario plush at some point in early next year. So, yeah, that seems pretty cool. Although I don't know if I can able to actually get it in day one though, because it might be a couple of times where every now and then, certain plushes is actually going to get ridiculously pricey these days, even with, you know, Tommy brand for the sake of Sonic the Hedgehog plushies lineup, especially how ridiculously expensive that 6 Badger is now going to cost nowadays, even though luckily about the fact that we did somehow, well, it's hard to explain really, because I know for a fact it's been a very long while since I actually explained anything about Sonic Boom related, but either way, so it looks like we've met again at the bottom of the well, so we can able to see what's going on, and of course, Mario's been trapped inside the painting, while King Boo was actually staring at him, so... Oh, and by the way, if you ever play the 3DS version, it does manage to show us a Mario icon on the speech bubble, whilst in the GameCube version, for some reason does not include that. Maybe it was expecting to able to include it from the actual data mines, but either way though, chances are it's been completely scrapped on the final release on the GameCube version, so... But at the very least, they did manage to able to bring it for the 3DS version at the very least, so... Anyway though, another thing I want to able to address something about this as well, sadly to tell you, is that one of the actors in particular, called Burt Young, that he sadly passed away, and because of that, he was roughly 83, so as a result, yeah, it seems kind of sad about the fact that he was best known for in the Rocky films, which I've heard about the Rocky films because the films of Sylvester Stallone was actually in those films, especially because he also did Weaver from Ants, so yeah, you get the idea of how I was expecting to able to mentioning about that, so anyway, so I have no idea what's the point of able to actually suck up the actual, that little blanket over there. It's just for bragging rights, I guess, even though I was just gonna have to check on something, so, anyways though, so let's just go ahead and, open up this little shed thingy right there, and I'm almost gonna get smacked, just like the Forms of how it does it for the fridge, but at least thankfully I did not take any damage at all, so that's something I suppose. So, anyways, let's get into the forms of the elephant in the room when it comes to this particular conversation, and that is that, well, yes, apparently this Friday we're about to be finally getting Mario Party 3 for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for the Nintendo 64 lineup. So because of that, and it's going to be releasing until this Friday on the 27th of October. So, yeah, it's like 1 week after the other for the likes of Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2 throughout. So, yeah, that seems pretty incredible in my opinion, especially now we've been able to actually finally get a chance to play every single N64 Mario Party games on the Nintendo Switch, despite the fact that you still need to require a subscription for it. So it's kind of a bummer though, but at least on the upside is that we finally get a chance to able to play, or for newcomers out there, they'll finally get a chance to play Mario Party 3 for the first time, rather than just trying to able to afford so many cash to able to actually buy the genuine copy of, you know, Mario Party 3 for the N64. So, yeah, pretty excited to able to actually try out the N64, you know, surfaces and stuff like that throughout, but, actually, I'll explain more about it until when it gets to the point until the next couple of days. So, anyways, here's that Speedy Spirit right here, so we can potentially try to get, of course, another blue diamond. So, now we're on to 12 of those things. So, pretty cool in my ad, especially concerning for the fact that, obviously, we're about to be able to get even more richer. So, and speaking of more coins and more money notes, then there you go. Although, I was expecting to try to able to actually just continue further along for the sake of the forms of Area 3, but I think I'm also able to say that maybe we can potentially try to finish up everything in Area 3 by that time until this Friday coming up, so at least depending on how long those specific rooms can be, so... Anyway, so we did save the game at the very least, so just in case, I do need to get the better chance for able to actually get the gold frame, because one of those portrait ghosts I do need to suck up, which is of course Biff Atlas, so hopefully we should probably able to... Oh yeah, I need to able to try to sort something out first, like... For instance, I need to take down this fire so that we can able to actually access the tea room, which I'm about to do that at some point later down the road, because I need to take care of this optional ghost right here to get the gold frame on. So, actually, kind of thinking about it, I need to do something else first. Like, I totally forgot about the forms of watering that particular plant from the likes of in a boneyard. So, yeah, it's important I need to do that, just in case if I don't do this, then I'll miss my chance to able to get the first gold diamond, as you probably expect. So, yeah, we'll do that quickly. So, yeah, I guess that's all I can really say about the forms of today's topic at this point. I mean, relatively speaking, the only N64 game we got left now is, of course, 1080 Snowboarding, which, suffice to say, I think is about to due out until December, or perhaps even maybe until January next year in 2024, because obviously that game is going to take place in winter, so to make it a little bit more of a perfect fit, the able to actually takes place in journey forms of the winter sport, so... yeah, you get the idea about that. But, I'm not exactly sure what other games they'll added in, but maybe we'll find out in journey forms of the first Nintendo Direct during the course of in 2024 and beyond. Likely also, I'm really hoping they'll add it in, Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64, or Donkey Kong 64, or Diddy Kong Racing, or Banjo-Tooie, and several others as well. But then again, though, we'll have to wait and find out until specifically 2024 and onwards. So, and exponentially speaking, though, is about the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure that's as far as we can able to discuss on that front. So of course, we still need to able to utilize those punching bags to able to temporarily stun him. Now, I think the best strategy when it comes to getting a gold frame on this is that I think it's probably best if you're able to actually let him go slightly to the left right here on the Hidden Mansion playthrough, or slightly to the right on the normal mansion playthrough, just in case you get the benefit for the doubts that you will able to get the gold frame like I just did here. Especially because you know how the fact that with that particular one of those exercise equipments always gets in your way, so that way you won't be able to actually get ourselves, well, get a knockback or something like that. So, anyway, Biff Atlas with gold frame is now equipped or required. So because of that, I'm pretty much all settled for this guy. So, it's definitely a little bit tricky to able to obtain the gold frame if you manage to able to play on the normal mansion playthrough, but nothing even compares to the forms of until likely in Area 4 that it gets a bit of a pain, especially because of the ice physics that you get out to cope with. So, anyway, so before we move on to the next room, I don't think it's possible for me to able to tackle through T room immediately, but I think I'm also do that until tomorrow, because relatively speaking, there's going to be not only one gold mice that's going to be appeared in a tea room, but also out of nowhere that I somehow missed out on, is that I somehow accidentally missed another gold mice in journey forms of the tea room, which because of that, not only do you able to come across into one gold mice in tea room, but two of those gold mice is around here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and find the cheese, and oh shoot, I think the ghosts are now going to appear, and I think something tells me I need to grab the fire element. So, actually kind of thinking about it though. Oh, there's a gold mice. Come on, obtain it. Okay. Oh jeez, that was close. And unfortunately though, I've lost a bit of health, so I definitely need to fill up my health immediately, just in case before I tackle for this particular area. So, oh jeez, there's too much to work with. Anyways, let's leave, because I don't think it's possible we can able to tackle for this room immediately though, like I said before. But hopefully by that time until specifically tomorrow, like I said before, I should be able to actually just to get a lot of progressioning for its, well, you know what I'm saying, for the majority of Area 3, so... And I believe it'll just take us in, yeah, I just somehow decided to go back into the shortcuts method, so just in case the actual traveling shouldn't be that much of an issue. But again, I apologize for my commentary is a little bit slightly awkward, because, you know, I'm feeling a little bit slightly sick, but hopefully by that time until tomorrow, I should be feeling a little bit better. So, anyways, with that being said though, oh, sweet. I'll go ahead and grab that, and still save the game. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion for the Hidden Mansion playthrough. It's that we're about to continue things on in Area 3. So, yeah, everything else will be pretty much accounted for. So I'll see you guys until tomorrow. Later, fellas.